All right, so if you're a small business owner here in Minnesota, you have definitely heard about the new statewide paid leave program. And yeah, it can seem a little complex, but don't worry. Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise and give you a super simple, practical guide to get you ready. Let's get right into it.
January 1st, 2026. Go ahead, circle that date on your calendar right now, because that's the day Minnesota's new and mandatory paid leave program officially kicks off. So, the big question is, are you ready for it? Because let me tell you, the prep work to avoid some major headaches and penalties, well, it really needs to start now. And that's exactly what we're going to walk through today.
Okay, first things first. Let's get a really clear handle on what this program actually is, and more importantly, who it affects.
Okay, the key phrase you really need to latch onto here is state-run insurance program. And that's a huge distinction. It means you, the employer, are not the one cutting the benefit checks. A good way to think about it is it's a lot like unemployment insurance. The state handles all the tough stuff. They manage eligibility. They make the payments, while your job is all about the setup and coordination.
And this is a big one, folks. It does not matter if you have 1 employee or 100 employees. This new law applies to pretty much every single Minnesota employer. I get this question a lot. What if I already offer great benefits like PTO or sick leave? Well, you still have to participate in this state program. Seriously, almost nobody gets a pass on this. So, if the state is handling all the payments, you're probably wondering, well, what's left for me to do? And that is the million-dollar question, right? So let's break down exactly what your responsibilities are. This breakdown really clarifies things, doesn't it? On one side, you have the state, and they're doing all the heavy lifting. I mean, they're reviewing the applications, figuring out who's eligible, and paying benefits directly to your people. Your role, on the other hand, is all about administration and communication. You got to register your business, get your payroll configured, send out notices, and coordinate the leave itself.
You know, to make this even easier, we've boiled it all down to a simple 8-step action plan. Seriously, if you just follow these steps, you'll be totally compliant and ready to roll for 2026. So let's jump into the first 4 right now.
All right, these first 4 steps are all about getting your account set up and in order. Step 1, you've got to create your employer account. And listen, this is really important. You have to register specifically for paid leave, even if you already have a UI account. They're separate. Step 2, designate a paid leave administrator. This is your go-to person for all of this, so, choose wisely. Then that person has to set up their own administrator account. And finally, step 4 is a big one. You need to decide on the premium split. The state says employees have to pay at least half, but you can choose to cover more if you want to offer it as an extra perk.
Okay, now we're getting into the implementation phase. Step 5 is absolutely critical, updating your payroll system. An incorrect setup here is honestly one of the biggest risks for an employer. It can lead to all sorts of compliance issues later on. Then you have steps 6 and 7, which are all about communication. You have to give official notices to all your current employees and any new ones, and you've got to get that required poster up in a visible spot. And finally, step 8 is all about the day-to-day stuff, just being prepared to coordinate schedules and keep good records when one of your employees actually takes leave.
So knowing what you should do is half the battle, right? But knowing what not to do, well, that can save you a world of headaches. So let's take a look at some of the common mistakes that can trip up even the most careful business owners.
And you'll probably notice a pattern here. These mistakes line up perfectly with the steps we just went over. The absolute biggest error we see is just procrastinating, waiting too long to get started. But other big ones include forgetting to name an administrator, getting that payroll configuration wrong, or just missing the employee notices or posters. Really, the main takeaway here is super clear. Starting early and being careful is your best defense against these simple but potentially very costly mistakes.
We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? So let's pull everything together into one final super actionable checklist that you can use to guide your way to full compliance.
And here it is. Think of this as your final roadmap. Let's just run through it one last time. You've got to hang the poster, register your employer account, designate and set up your administrator, decide on that premium split, give notices to all your employees, update your payroll system, and of course, align your internal HR policies. Seriously, use this as your personal checklist. Track your progress, check things off, and make sure nothing gets missed.
Now, I know, looking at that list, it is completely understandable if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. I mean, this is a huge new responsibility, especially for a small business owner who's already wearing, like a dozen different hats? But here's the good news. You absolutely do not have to figure this out all by yourself. And this really gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? Because managing this stuff isn't just a one-time setup.
It's about ongoing compliance. There's this great quote from Prudent Accountants that says it all. Instead of tracking multiple systems and rule changes on your own, you have one team overseeing the full picture. And that's the key, right? Having one team that sees the whole picture. Payroll, HR, taxes, so that nothing, absolutely nothing, falls through the cracks. And honestly, that's where getting some professional help can make all the difference in the world. A team like Prudent Accountants, for example, can manage this whole shebang for you. We're talking everything: employer registration, payroll configuration, setting up the premiums, handling all the employee notices and required postings, aligning your HR policies, and even the ongoing compliance monitoring. It just takes it all completely off your plate so you can get back to focusing on what you do best, running your business. So if you want some expert guidance to make sure everything is handled correctly and on time, please don't hesitate to reach out.